howdy howdy. If you look at my screen, you can see that the Hero Pass is out. I haven't played it in quite some time. I did want to do a little video both on kind of my first reaction to seeing it. Obviously I did see some videos regarding it, but I haven't had a chance to play in a few days. Honestly, I've been kind of demotivated when it came out. So let's jump on in. So this video is going to be a little bit of live reaction as well as some post editing voiceover just to talk about what my thoughts are on it. As you can see up here, we have not logged in 3 days. It is currently Wednesday, September 6th, which means last time I played was actually Sunday prior to the Hero Pass coming out. So what I want to do is I want to log in. I want to look at the overview of it, kind of give my thoughts and reactions on a unfiltered version, and then just kind of talk about it after that. So hop into homeworld. Well, it opens up with us starting with level 40. Click on this and open it up. So with hero points are at currently level 12 with 375 out of 1,000. Challenge skip tokens have been converted to 1375 hero points. I had a bunch of those challenge skip tokens. If you don't know, my plan was to use those to get 120 agility. Begin the hero pass. Wow, this looks incredibly dumb. Already unlocked your first prize. Click here to claim it. All right, so we got our first cosmetic over here. Let's look at what we have here. Under overrides, that's actually pretty decent. All right, let's claim that. Tombstone necromancy. Got ourselves a book, hero emblems. Wow, look at all the ottomans. Now obviously, since I am an Iron Man, you know, basically everything is going to be ottomans. All right, so we claimed everything that we can. I'm not gonna lie, some of these cosmetics are actually looking pretty cool. I actually really like this. Like, that's actually pretty decent looking. So we move on to the missions tab. We get a variety of different missions that give you different ranges of rewards. So I assume these are both our dailies and stuff, as well as some other things, I assume. All right, so I just wanted to say this. I started claiming all my missions and we got a whole lot of necromancy supplies. I don't know how I feel about that because a lot of this stuff you had to get by playing the game. This is already affecting gameplay. And what I mean by that is things like the flaming skull. These are last for a really long time. Greater ritual candles, regular ritual candles. Typically on Iron Man, we just used the Tome of challenges or whatever to claim those daily. And all of this stuff is stuff that you make or you find, and it's just kind of ridiculous that, hey, these are now just going to be grabbed from this hero pass. You know, these 400 ashes. Yeah, it doesn't take very long to collect those ashes, but this is a good money maker that's just probably going to go down to shit for your people now. So the next thing we have are these challenges. We got our weeklies and our dailies. So the daily for me currently is fletching. We have to gain 10 progress, 50 progress, and 100 progress. So I'm assuming it takes some time, a couple points a minute or so, or a couple points an hour or whatever, in order to complete that. So we'll see how that goes. I'm probably not going to do it, to be honest, because I'm not a huge fan of dailies. And I mean, I preferred the old dailies over anything just because they took a couple minutes, but who knows how long that's going to be taking. And then we have our weekly challenge for me. This is gaining hero points by skilling, fighting enemies, doing clues, or earning marks of war, which I'm assuming, again, every activity gives you a couple points. I have 6 days left to get this done. This is something that'll just happen passively, but the fact that this daily one is a specific skill for a certain amount of time in order to get these points, kind of ridiculous in my own opinion. If you're going to get rid of dailies, get rid of dailies. Don't do something like this that takes way longer and isn't going to be as rewarding, because, you know, guess what, we don't get XP anymore. It's just, hey, train this skill for the sake of telling me to train this skill. Now I'll say I didn't mind that so much with the yak track, because with the yak track it was a small amount of training and then I had the option to do something else. This doesn't give me the option to do something else to get this boost. And then apparently we get new random general missions every day, so I get some more points with this. So either A, collecting animal produce, or crushing chronicle fragments. Again, I don't want to have to do this kind of stuff. And then we have our special missions. For me, it's completing Raptor Slayer challenges. Obviously I have the yak track to be able, or not the yak track, excuse me, the entire hero pass to be able to do something like this. And then we have the necromancy rituals as well. Again, we'll get the rewards: 250 ectoplasm, fragile mementos, spirit mementos, robust mementos, regular candles, and greater candles. Again, all this stuff is stuff we would have to make on our own. Why is it coming into the game? Through this battle pass. So reading through the info panel, there's a few things that are involved in here. And then if you look, it says the hero pass consists of 120 levels up until level 99. Each level requires 1,000 hero points to progress. Obviously, it's not telling us how long each point takes. I'm sure somebody will put up a video that talked about that. I don't know, since again, I haven't played yet, but by completing 99, you get the progress booster, which was the same progress booster we hit for level, I believe, 40 of the yak tracks before. And we get heroic levels all the way to 120, kind of like our regular skills that boost up to, or that go to 120, but these require 3,000 hero points to progress. Awesome. So it's going to take basically just as long to go from 1 to 99 to from 99 to 120. Cool beans. And of course, we have the repeatable event at 120. Yay, which means my guess is something like those yak sack or the points or whatever. Cool. And here is the FOMO incentive. With each hero pass, you'll obtain 2 different types of buffs, which can be accessed via the buffs tab. Obviously, we don't have the buffs tab because I'm an Iron Man, but I'll jump onto my main account in a little bit to go over these. The first type is XP buffs. Like yak tracks, you'll obtain the flat XP buff to each category, which will remain active until the end of the pass. So that's a huge incentive to try to buy skips and try to buy bonds and try to use these things to get past this yak track, or excuse me, this hero pass as soon as possible. The second type is content buffs. Now, I know some of these are going to be kind of tragic to see. Again, I'm going to hop onto my main, I think, in a little bit and see those buffs, because I can't imagine that they're anything good. Well, I shouldn't say anything good. They're probably broken as hell, which is not a good thing, I should say. So I'm scrolling through the store. Obviously, there's a ton of items and different things and overrides. Each of these costs a different amount. I can't imagine if by getting to 120 that these things would all be able to be unlocked, because it wasn't possible in the yak track prior. We look at the pets. I have 2 of the pets. One of them is a new pet. Animations. I kind of want to get this corrupted X68, not gonna lie. But again, there's no way in hell that all this stuff is going to be obtainable, which is probably where that repeatable event comes into play, where you get points so you can continue to get these. But, you know, why is it that oddments aren't an option here? You know, you feed us millions and millions of oddments as Iron Men, they serve no purpose. Why is this a new currency that we can't use for anything else? Why do we have to have more and more currencies that just make no sense? I know I'm sounding a little bit angry, but a lot of my initial reaction to this is not good. I am not happy with this at all. Let's hop onto my main account really quick and see how it looks from a main account's perspective. So here we are on our main account. Obviously, it's been a while since I logged in, 17 days. I actually canceled my membership, so I don't actually know if I'm a member. Probably don't have membership on it anymore. Yep, I do not have membership, so let's just log into a free-to-play world. Oh boy, what is this interface? All right, well, let's move on and let's look at the buffs. So the first buff we have is the Trailblazer. That is ridiculous. Decrease the amount of steps for all clue scrolls by 1. Now, obviously, we have the totem that does that as well, but again, this is just straight up shafting clue scrollers. I am not a cluer. I hate clues, but this is just ridiculous. Why is it that the buff from a battle pass actually affects the game? This should not be a thing. Now, decreasing the amount of steps by 1, that means if you're not using this buff, you're doing clue scrolls inefficiently. This is the definition of pay to win. Now, pay to win does have some back and forth on it. What is pay to win? Is pay for convenience, pay for whatever. This is legitimately pay to win. You are paying in order to get a buff that lets you finish your clues faster, which leads to more money. This is ridiculous. And the next one we have is Fort Artisan, which gives us a 20% chance to save 1 resource when making a refined plank, frames, or stone wall segments. I don't actually mind this one too much. To saving a resource, find whatever resource isn't that expensive or anything like that. It's very easy to obtain. It's just paying for time convenience, basically. Now, when you compare that to something like Trailblazer, which again, 1 step out of every clue scroll is kind of ridiculous, this at least is more in line with what you would expect, or what should be expected from a battle pass. A small, tiny buff that doesn't actually super hurt gameplay. We can say something similar about Headhunter. It allows you to select your next Slayer task for any Slayer Master. So kind of like the 120 Slayer perk. You know, you get to pick your task. That's, again, not bad. Yes, it's nice and it helps you with the ultimate Slayer grind, but it's not game break. You know, you just spend a little slightly less time getting to the task that you want to get the drops or something like that. We're going to skip the next one and go straight to the last one because again, it kind of fits that same kind of thing. Doubles the chance of all woodcutting tool invention perks activating for 10 minutes. Again, the tool perks, they're good. They're not game breaking. And having the double the chance of them activating again isn't like overly game breaking. Is it still pay to win? Technically, yes, but it's not to the point of detriment to the game. The final one that is the Chaos Ward. Reduces incoming damage from the Zamorakian Undercity Elite Dungeon for 20% for a full run. This is the hardest boss in the game, quote unquote. You know, it is a difficult boss. It is something that people are struggling to learn. Okay, well, if you want people to learn it, I think the RS guy tweeted something about this. Why not just get rid of the dungeon requirement? Then people can keep banging their head into the wall until they get it done. But this is actually making it so that you take 20% less damage. I don't know the math on that, but like that'd be like taking a 500%, turning it into like, I don't know, 200%. That's ridiculous. Why is this in the game at all? Because the further you scale your enrage, the better drops you get. But it's like, hey, we're gonna challenge you to a lesser enrage, but give you the higher enrage reward. What? Makes no sense at all. The other thing I do want to talk about, we're back on our Iron Men. Now, if I scroll through this list of rewards that you get, you see ottomans. There's so many ottomans. Like, I'm sure on a main account, these ottomans are different items. But why is it that ottomans are the only thing that we can get as Iron Men? We can't even really use the ottomans ever. We lost all of our rewards from the weeklies on the daily challenges and the weekly streaks that we had, and we're just getting ottomans. Why is this a thing? We can't even use the ottomans on anything. So we have the ottoman shop open. You'll see that, well, consumables, obviously I can't get, but cosmetics, there's a couple things here. I could probably, if I bought, I could actually probably buy all of this stuff and have the entire ottoman shop bought out. I have 328,000 ottomans already, but that's again all we're getting from the battle pass. So I could engage with the battle pass, but again, it doesn't matter since I don't get anything. I mean, some of the cosmetics are pretty cool, I will say. I mean, you get some cool animations and stuff, which is nice. But again, like, this is the kind of stuff that should be on the battle pass, the animations and the overrides. You know, we lost a lot of our daily challenge rewards, things like the DTDs and the aura refreshes and life refreshes and things like that. And now we get ottomans. Hooray for ottomans. So most of this video so far has kind of been my raw thoughts regarding the HeroPass. I wanted to finish this up by kind of giving my overall view of it. Obviously, from my reactions, live clicking through everything and reading through it, and as I was talking, you can probably tell I'm not a huge fan of it, and I'm really not. But I wanted to go over what my positives on it were. There's some things that I actually do like about it, but majority of it is negative. Something that I do actually really like about it is the fact that it's a lot of really cool cosmetics and really cool skill animations and things like that. That's the kind of stuff that should be on a battle pass. You know, it's not game breaking if you get it or not, but it is something to work towards and something that does affect the game a little bit, but just at a visual standpoint. It's not going to make a difference to the core gameplay of what's actually going on. Another thing that I did like about it is kind of the removal of daily challenges. Now, I'm a person that did all my daily challenges because they are really good XP and they were a nice incentive to logging in every single day. However, in my own opinion, they're a bit overtuned. I mean, you got several hundreds of thousands of XP for literally a couple minutes worth of work. I did like the rewards in the weeklies because again, they weren't game breaking, but they were a good incentive to be able to play the game on a daily basis. However, I think they were a bit overtuned in terms of XP. Now, I do actually feel like it wasn't as good of a thing, specifically removing it. I mean, specifically because they've just been in the game for so long. The Iron Man meta is actually designed around daily challenges. Now, obviously that's going to be changing quite a bit with the removal of said daily challenges. Overall, I think it's actually a good thing for the quote unquote integrity of the mode of Iron Man, but I think it is almost too little too late kind of a thing. They shouldn't have been involved at all. And removing them, yes, is good, but there's so many people who have max stats. There's so many people who have hit multiple 120s, thanks to daily challenges, myself included. I mean, there's no way in hell I would have 120 dungeoneering if the daily challenges weren't a thing, in all honesty. And because of that, I'm not the biggest fan of its removal, even though I'm kind of am a fan of their removal. Ideally, they shouldn't have existed at all, in my own opinion. Bit of a hot take there. Now, out of the bad stuff, overall it's very, very bad. I mean, they said that this was trying to remove the daily escapeness of the game, but it's actually increasing it based on the daily challenges that we get now for the missions themselves. Next thing I absolutely despise, obviously, is those buffs. Now, obviously, as an Iron Man, the buffs really don't affect me since you can't really get them, and no other Iron Man can. However, I am not a huge fan of the Trailblazer or the Zamorak damage reduction. Those things like that should not exist. Some of the buffs are fine. I think the Lumberjack one, absolutely A-okay. I think the Artisan one, absolutely A-okay. But some of these are core gameplay elements that just, as there's people's main money makers, and they're completely destroying them by making them pay to win. And while I'm not a huge fan of pay to win, certain pay to win is okay in my opinion. Something like that pay for convenience of the Lumberjack, of the Artisan, things like that. But taking endgame stuff that people are doing consistently for money or anything like that that destroys some of the core gameplay elements of the game are unacceptable in my opinion. This also plays into the fear of missing out. You know, you saw on the, when I logged into my main, there's some XP buffs that you got on the side. Those XP buffs shouldn't be there because again, they only last for as long as the I almost said yak track again, I'm sorry, for as long as the hero pass is available. But you want to be able to get the most out of those. So what are you going to do? Well, you're going to buy bonds and you're going to skip the track in order to get as many of those boosts as possible. That is not okay. Now, as usual, I'm not a person who likes to give criticism without giving my ideas on how I think something like this could be improved upon, since HeroPass is probably here to stay. You know, I know Jagex is a business. As a person who runs a business myself, you know, the idea of a business is to make some money. Now, what do I think this is the best way for them to make money? No, but this is a potential avenue to increase revenue. Now, there's things that these can do to make it so that your customers, you know, don't hate you and still increase revenue. And these are the things that I would do to implement on the Hero Pass to make that so. First and foremost, remove anything on the pass that is not cosmetic and is a game breaking or game integrity harming buff. Something like the XP buffs, get rid of them. Things like the damage reduction, get rid of it. Things like the Trailblazer ability, get rid of it. Get rid of all those buffs. Small things, sure. Keep an extra item when you're crafting, fine. Make an extra piece of equipment, fine, whatever. Those are things that I think you could argue are okay, not necessarily healthy, but are not crossing the line of game integrity. But mainly focus on the cosmetics. The cosmetics are things that people actually enjoy. I actually like a lot of the cosmetics on here. Yes, some of them are a little bit lazy, but they are something that I personally would work towards. Number 2 is change how Premier actually works with the Battle Pass. So if you don't know, Battle Passes are typically put into free-to-play games as a incentive to work towards, or you spend money to skip it to get the stuff that you get. Now, the way the Battle Pass works in RS is there is a track that you get for not being a Premier member and extra benefits for being a Premier member. Instead, I think the entire track should be what you get for Premier anyway. However, with the Premier, since you're paying a bit extra, you're committing to a longer duration of membership. I think instead they should just make it so that you complete the track much faster as a Premier member. Since, hey, we're already paying anyway. And since we're paying anyway, it makes sense that, hey, we get the benefits of skipping the track a little bit faster, or completing the track rather a little bit faster. Now, there's going to be people who don't want to do the track. Okay, fine. If they want the stuff, then hey, that's where the incentive to buy the skips are. But don't make it so it's nearly impossible without a massive commitment to complete the track, or make it so that the track is actually engageable. And number 3 is reintroduce the daily challenge system the way it was, but integrate it with the Battle Pass. The way I would do this is kind of have the same kind of deal where we can extend it. We get the rewards that we used to get for these streaks, but we don't get the as much XP. I know I said I'm not a huge fan of the XP that we got as Iron Men, because, you know, it was part of the meta is basically using daily challenges. I think we should be able to use those daily challenges to get the bonus XP, get the XP, and get the rewards. Just kind of cut back on the XP a little bit and give us more of progress for the Battle Pass itself by doing those dailies, because those dailies took much less time for me to complete mine. It's usually a couple minutes out of my day versus what it is now, where I spent about 15-20 minutes to knock out the entire thing off of fletching one. So what do you guys think on the Battle Pass? Is this something that's salvageable? Did they screw up the entire thing? Do we have any hope for it to be any good? Be sure to comment below. As always, like and subscribe. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you guys soon.